6 decades ago, a preacher dedicated his coast life to changing and saving people's lives. Today, his creation, Home of Grace, is still fulfilling his vision while continuing to grow.
The mission of the Home of Grace is to offer freedom from addiction through Christ-centered recovery.
Josh Barton's grandfather, Brother Bill Barton, had a personal reason for wanting to offer a lifeline for those struggling with addiction.
He had a vision to help make a difference for alcoholics, which was the only addiction back then, primarily because his dad was an alcoholic growing up. And so he knew what it was like to grow up under an alcoholic father, and so he wanted to do something to change that course for other families. He said, we're going to call it the Home of Grace, and we're going to put it somewhere between New Orleans and Mobile.
A 10-acre land donation in Jackson County near Van Cleve got the Home of Grace up and running in 1965. Bill Barton's son, Billy Barton, carried it on with Billy's wife, Shalene, overseeing the women's campus. Today, their son Josh leads the operation that cares for more than 100 recovering addicts at a time, with a staff of 50 employees along with the support of volunteers and donations.
I feel like I get to sort of marry the two of the heart and the vision to share what we do and continuing with my dad's path of making the Home of Grace the most successful addiction recovery program we can possibly be. The primary focus is to change someone's life. And so we've got first-class facilities on par with anybody in the country, and we have a staff that matches that.
The recovery program has impacted more than 35,000 lives, including Lee Anderson. He found the Home of Grace more than 20 years ago after a decade of dealing with drug addiction.
I showed up in the dark of night on a Greyhound bus. Couldn't find Van Cleve, Mississippi on the map coming from North Carolina, which was probably the best thing in the world because I couldn't leave. During the 3 months here, it completely changed my life. I found a spirit and a joy in living again that through our program's teaching of Jesus Christ, it saved my life.
The counseling, spiritual guidance, life skill classes, and relationship building gave Anderson the foundation he needed to become a success in the business world. A few years ago, it all came full circle when he decided to come back to the Home of Grace, where he is now the development director and leading by example.
Knowing where I was in my life 21 years ago coming through the program, to be able to speak life into the clients that we have now, I know is important. It gives them hope. It gives them a purpose.
Like Anderson, Ross Richard is also back in the place that saved his life. He and his wife both work for the Home of Grace after completing the rehabilitation program themselves. Richard is the director of admissions and many times the first line of communication with someone needing help. And the advice he provides comes from firsthand experience.
There's very few things that I can speak about with absolute authority. Those are one of them. What a life of addiction looks like, but also what the road out of addiction looks like.
Anderson and Richard's stories are just two of so many that have been rewarding for the Bartons to watch unfold.
If you could have seen the 3 to 5 years leading up to the Home of Grace and the jail and the prison and destroying their community to now absolutely changing their community for the better, it is so far polar opposites of what you can imagine.
The push to help more people continues with plans underway to build new facilities devoted to servicing women. The help provided by the program is no longer just contained to the Jackson County properties. The Home of Grace is expanding its reach by offering in-person and virtual counseling services to families of addicts, and Richard is part of a podcast that can reach people in need anywhere.
When you hear other people and you can connect with what they're saying and it rings true in your life, then it really gives them hope that they're not alone.
This weekend, 60 Years of Miracles will be on full display with a homecoming event welcoming back hundreds who've beaten addiction. Barton believes this celebration of life-changing moments is the foundation of hope for generations to come.
When you see miracle after miracle of some man or woman that's had their lives changed, you feel a very special connection that you want to continue to see miracles take place in families' lives.
And the 60th anniversary homecoming event is this Saturday at First Baptist Church Gulfport, starting at 2 o'clock. If you're looking for more information about the services offered by Home of Grace, we have a link to their website on WLOX.com.